I'm Eric Bolling in for Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching this special edition of the Factor Election 2016. It's been 4 days since the blockbuster first presidential debate, just 3 days until the one and only vice presidential debate, and 2 more showdowns between Trump and Clinton still loom. With that backdrop, let's get right to our top story. Donald Trump on supercharged offense. The Republican nominee ignited a fresh controversy in the wee hours of the morning, accusing his newest nemesis, former Miss Universe Alicia Machado, of having a sex tape, among other things. That led Hillary Clinton to deploy the War on Women charge against him.
He finds it a lot easier to insult women than to talk to the president of Mexico about building a wall. I mean, really, who gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning to engage in a Twitter attack against a former Miss Universe?
But Trump appears undaunted as his campaign released a strong attack ad against Clinton today.
Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
Maybe it's because the director of the FBI said you lied about your emails.
There was classified material emailed.
Or maybe it's because your policies have allowed ISIS and terrorism to spread. Or maybe it's because you call Americans deplorable.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
Do you really need to ask?
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Meanwhile, the Commission on Presidential Debates admitted today that there was, in fact, a problem with Trump's sound level inside the presidential debate hall, though it did not affect the actual TV broadcast. Trump sounded off about it a short time ago in Michigan.
By the way, it was just announced by the commission that holds the debate that Donald Trump's microphone was defective, as I've been saying. I mean, working that microphone was a hell of a lot more difficult than working crooked Hillary Clinton, that I can tell you. I wonder why it was bad. Think of that. I wonder why it was bad.
So is this increasingly aggressive stance from Trump what he needs to gain the upper hand against Clinton? Joining us now with reaction from Philadelphia, Richard Goodstein, an attorney and former Hillary Clinton advisor, and from Little Rock, Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, a senior advisor for the Trump campaign. Start with you, Sarah. So everyone's talking about the 3 o'clock in the morning tweet that keeps this Alicia Machado story alive. Tell us, does the campaign say, hey, Donald, put the Twitter machine down when you go to sleep, and if you get up in the middle of the night, don't pick it up?
You know, one of the things that I just heard Hillary Clinton say, which I think is extremely telling, is she just said, what's he doing up at 3 a.m.? Well, we know Hillary Clinton doesn't get up at 3 a.m., and if the phone rings, she certainly isn't there to answer it. I think that's far more problematic to be president, to not be there ready to take the charge, ready to lead, and actually be able to be awake at something like that. The biggest problem here is Hillary Clinton wants to make this a big issue. The problem with that is the most offensive thing that's been said on the campaign trail this year, and probably in modern politics, is what Hillary Clinton said about millions of Americans, including millions of American women, and that's that they're deplorable and irredeemable. That alone disqualifies her from being president, the utter contempt that she has for so many Americans across this country.
You know, Richard, we played the ad, this Trump ad hitting Hillary Clinton. Now, why, and when she kind of very loudly wondered why she wasn't up by 50%, and then they go through the reasons why she wasn't up by 50%. The problem is we're spending most of the day talking about Alicia Machado. Wouldn't it be better if we just move on and get back to the issues?
A problem for who? Look, the fact of the matter is, what Sarah just said, the suggestion that somehow Hillary is not physically up to this, any of the 84 million people who watched that debate the other night saw one person in a red suit who was totally vibrant till the end, and the other guy just was kind of leading on that podium and kind of flagging from about 30 minutes on for the last 60. So this, I mean, I hope the Trump campaign predicates a strategy on the fact that somehow or other Hillary Clinton doesn't have stamina. Because as she said, he hasn't been to 112 countries. He hasn't stood up to 11 and a half hours of testimony.
Sarah, I'll let you get in here, but let's point out a couple of things. In the battleground states, Donald Trump has visited 54 times the battleground states. Hillary Clinton 25 times. Sarah, I want to ask you this, so a lot of people want to know. Debate number 2 strategy. Will Donald Trump come out a little bit more aggressive? Will Donald Trump, and he hinted to this about this today, will he go ahead and talk about Bill Clinton's infidelities?
you know, I think all things could be on the table depending on the direction that Hillary Clinton goes. We now know she wants to get into the gutter so that she can distract from her own record. You know, one of the problems with what he just said, we're not worried about her stamina, we're worried about her credibility. This is a woman that has been in government for 30 years and has nothing but a failed record to show for it. That's what we're worried about. That's why we don't want her to be president, and that's why Donald Trump is doubling up on the number of stops that she is. It's not to show a discrepancy in stamina, but it's to tell the story and to get that message out there in the contrast of if you want the status quo, you've got Hillary Clinton. If you want somebody to come in, shake up, and change Washington, you've got Donald Trump, who's the ultimate change agent in this race.
So what about it, Richard? Do you think if Donald Trump does, in fact, go ahead and go there and talk about Bill Clinton's infidelities, you think it's fair for him to do something like that?
I think if he wants to, he should. You know, there are terms like clean hands, right, or people in glass houses. You've got him and his leading two surrogates, Giuliani and Newt, all of whom have had 3 wives, and we won't talk about the circumstances in which they kind of got there. Look, the fact of the matter is, if Donald Trump wants to run against Bill Clinton for president in some alternative universe, great, he should do that. But in this universe, he's living in a dream world. Look,
Richard,
the Republicans have tried this.
Here's the context that you could be bringing it up. Is that Hillary Clinton can play the victim, but she also attacked some of the accusers of Bill Clinton, who said she called Monica Lewinsky a narcissistic Looney Tune. She called Jennifer Flowers a gold digger, and she told Stephanopoulos that the other 24 accusers, they should try and destroy those stories. I mean, that's someone who's blaming the victim, is it not?
Everything you just said happened as of the off-year elections in 1998, where Newt Gingrich, then Speaker of the House, ran the campaign to re-elect Republicans on Monica Lewinsky. And guess what? For the first time in the history of the Republic, the 6th-year president, White House, won seats. The Democrats won seats in that election, and Newt was no longer Speaker as a result of that brilliant strategy. So my attitude is, bring it on. Okay. I'm sure it will work as well now with the debate.
So what will he do in debate 2? Will he change the strategy? He laid back. He wasn't very aggressive. He didn't. I don't even think I may be mistaken. I don't even think he brought up the deplorables comment, did he?
Look, Richard, here's the problem. While the infidelity issue is problematic for the Clintons, it's far from the strongest attack against Hillary. You've got the pay-to-play scandal. You've got the email scandal. You've got the putting our government and our national security at risk and putting our government up to sell for the highest bidder. There's a lot of content out there to come after Hillary Clinton.
You've heard of Pam Bondi, right? You talk about the Trump Foundation, what it did. That's textbook pay-to-play. And it was illegal, too, to have him make that contribution out of his foundation, and then she shut down the investigation right after she got that contribution. That is textbook pay-to-play.
Guys, the debate goes on about the debates coming up. We're going to have to leave it right there. Sarah, Richard, thank you very much.